Hello, everybody. My name is Linedy Genao, and welcome to Entre Acts, your favorite podcast, where we talk to your favorite artists about transitional periods in our lives. Because you're never lost, you're always entre acts, in between acts. And I'm so excited to introduce this week's guest. I have to tell you a little story. The first time that I met her was circa, I think, 2013. I went to see an off-Broadway musical called The Last 5 Years. I didn't know anything about it. And when I tell you that I was sobbing in my seat and I was inconsolable at the end, because if you know the story of The Last 5 Years is heartbreaking. I went to the stage door, fangirled, got a photo that I'm digging through my phone trying to find, but also I hope I never find it because I'm sure I look a mess, and got an autograph and told her how much her performance meant to me and inspired me. And so I'm so grateful that over a decade later, I'm sitting here on my couch talking to her. So recently starred as the titular role of Joy in the hit off-Broadway musical Joy, finished her tenure at Anne Juliet as Anne Hathaway and got a nomination for the 2023 Tonys as Best Featured Actress in a Musical, and currently starring as Madeline Ashton in Death Becomes Her. Everybody, mi gente, please welcome Betsy Wolfe.
You know my resume better than I do.
I missed a few things. Hold on. Wait.
Stop.
I need to say, oh my gosh, Jenna in Waitress. I saw you as Jenna in Waitress.
I'm still not over the fact that you were at The Last 5 Years. Were you like 6 years old at the time? I can't
girl.
even fathom this.
No. Do you want to know another crazy thing about that production?
Sure.
Do you remember, I mean, you couldn't see behind you, but there was a scene where you're both driving and there's a video of a tunnel. You're driving through a tunnel.
I do. I can do better than that. Yes.
Do you know that tunnel, oh my God, I'm getting chills. That tunnel is specifically in Woodbridge, Connecticut, off of exit 59 into 60. My exit was exit 60 in Hamden, Connecticut. When I saw that,
You knew right away.
I knew right away. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm meant to be here. What are the odds that this is the tunnel I drive through every day to go home? And that was featured in the show. And that was the first time that I met you.
I loved that number. And I was always, I knew something was playing behind me. I knew it was obviously Rhodes, but I did not know the specificity of where that was. I'm sure that's obviously where, Jason grew up in Connecticut. So I'm
didn't know
assuming that now that I'm putting this together, of course, there was a reason why this was the tunnel. I love this memory. What a special show. That was that was such a turning point. I loved being a part of that. And now I'm just living for getting to see like Rachel Zegler do it as well right now. I was watching videos like this morning of her singing at Bootlegs, of course, but she's incredible, and and it's crazy to know that show has influenced so many people.
Oh my gosh, it influenced me, and I'm honored and grateful to even know you now as a friend and colleague. And thank you so much for being here today.
I'm so happy to be here to help you launch this thing. This is really, really, really cool.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So as you know, Entre Acts. So entre means in between in Spanish, right? Just like an entr'acte, right? Music played between acts, right before act 2. And so I was inspired to start this podcast because we as artists and human beings go through transitional periods in our lives.
Oh, yes.
Every single day sometimes. And, that messy middle, or when life calls intermission and forgets to tell you what's next, are vulnerable and uncomfortable, and sometimes I feel like there's shame behind it, and I felt that specifically.
And there's mystery. Yeah, there's shame, but it's a lot of mystery.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I felt that for myself with Bad Cinderella, and I wanted to create a space where we could, obviously have fun, but also talk about that and feel empowered by that. So before we get things started, I want to play a little icebreaker game.
Woo!
So I like to format all of my episodes like a little sandwichito, a little sandwich, right?
Okay, perfect.
Some fun, then the heart and the messy middle in the middle, and then some fun again at the end. So we're going to start with a game of dominoes. Not really dominoes, because I don't really know how to play dominoes. I know I'm Latina, and that's big in our culture. I know, but we're playing it the Entre Acts way, okay?
This is amazing. So, I'm surprised during Anne Juliet, no one asked me to play a game of dominoes in any of my interviews. Because I sing domino. But so this is crazy. Let's do this.
Anne Juliet. Please.
I gave dominoes out as opening night gifts. Anyways, moving on.
Oh my God. Okay, this is meant to be.
I'm getting so off topic.
No. This is so meant to be. Okay, so you're going to pick a domino, and the number is going to pertain to an icebreaker question. Are you ready?
I'm still ready.
Okay, here we go.
2.
Number 2. Okay. If you could travel through time, what era would you visit?
Does it have to be an era that I lived in or no? Oh, okay. Early 1900s.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay.
I just want to see what it's like. I'm not saying I'm going to stay.
No,
but I would
same.
like to see what it's
Same.
like. Yeah.
Okay, next.
Oh, next. I was like, what's next? Wait, literally nothing.
Nothing. Okay. Well, this is going to be random. Okay.
You can pick.
Okay. Is a 90-minute show with no intermission a blessing for an actor or a crime against the audience's bladder?
Ooh, I think it's a blessing. I honestly,
it is. I'm sorry. I love you.
Maybe happy ending. Hello. That is the most brilliant example of a 90-minute show.
Truly.
And then also think about it. Ever since COVID, I feel like people don't want to be out as late, don't want to go out. So I have to be honest with you. The idea of a 90-minute show for everybody, and then you get home, you go to bed. I don't know. It sounds amazing to me.
Well, yeah. And when I saw Maybe Happy Ending, I had no idea it was a 90-minute. So when it was over, I was like,
I know.
Obviously I was sobbing, but I was like, it's over? Yes.
And then you ran to the bathroom. But yes.
Okay, next.
Okay, let's see.
Let's see.
6.
High comedy or high drama?
High comedy.
Yes, I knew you were going to say that.
High comedy. I mean, I love both, but it's been like first of all, what I'm getting to do in Death Becomes Her, and what I sort of got to do, what I did get to do in Anne Juliet. It actually was the perfect blend of both. But I'm just a comedian at heart. I grew up watching Carol Burnett reruns. That is like my thing. So the fact that I get to, be on stage and, anyways, that's like my thing.
I love that. Okay, one more.
Okay, let's see. 9.
9. Okay.
I had to count that.
No, me too. I didn't have enough
I had
coffee
to actually count.
Okay. One food you could eat forever. I'm a big foodie, so I love this.
I just asked this of someone. I just asked this of Michelle Williams on our. We do Saturday Night Lives at the theater. I just asked this of her, and I was like, I should really know the answer for myself. Okay, steak, medium rare, with like the most amazing chimichurri sauce. Okay,
you got me at steak,
and then a side of fries because it's one plate. We're just gonna go with the whole plate.
Yes.
All right, fair.
I love that. What a great game of dominoes, right? Everybody. So now we got that part of the sandwichito out of the way. So again, this show is about, transitional periods in our life. And I wanted to ask you, what does the in-between mean to you in whatever way, personal, professional? What does that period in your life mean to you?
Yeah, I'm so glad. First of all, I'm so glad we're diving into this because this is the reason why I said yes to this because I think it's such a brilliant concept. And what I know as a working professional and what you don't know when you're not working and when you're kind of the before stage, right? Like before you're actually doing this is that, as you mentioned, there can either be shame associated with it or it's a mystery to people, like especially students, right? Who don't understand that there is more off times than there are sometimes on times. And so you are so much more, you're worth so much more than your last role. And it's so this combination of you doing this podcast and then how I started probably one of the most meaningful things in my life. That's the intersection of it for me, is it was in my between time. And I started something that now is one of the most meaningful things in my entire life. So I loved that we're examining, like, what does that look like? So I definitely did not think that moving here, after college, that I was going to book something back to back to back to back to back. And there is something, people always ask, well, what's next, right? When you finish a show, like, well, what's next? Mm-hmm. What's next? So I think there is something implied that like you're only valid until your next project is there. And it's one of the reasons why I wanted to work with students. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to share what life in the business actually looks like and just help people get comfortable with this idea that actually the in-between is the really exciting place. That's where not only does life keep happening, because life never stops, even when you're in a show, but that actually is like some of the most fulfilling times that you might have. And it's a well, you keep filling up the well of creativity and finding different ways to have joy in your life. And I don't know, it's hard to describe, like, to students who are especially like, 14 to like 18, this idea of like, trust me, you're going to enjoy it sometimes when you're not working. But I believe that the more artists that talk about it, which is why I'm so glad you're giving a platform to this, the more we can start to show people that you are worth so much more than just the role that you're currently doing.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. That's exactly what I felt, because as artists, I mean, I'm speaking for myself, but I feel like a lot of people share the sentiment where we're defined by what we're doing, or like that's
Sure.
our only, people only know us because of this. And so when
Yeah.
we're not that, who are we? And that's kind of an identity crisis I had to come to terms with, because once you're not working and people are like, what are you up to now? And it's like, just auditioning and just like enjoying life. That's kind of like, oh, okay, well, nice to see you. And it's like, no, I'm enjoying my family time that while we're working, we crave all this family time, but then when we have it, we're craving all this work. It's kind
Absolutely.
of like a crazy thing.
It's a very strange business.
Yeah.
It's really hard to find that balance in between. And part of it, right, is not on us. It's people don't really know what to say, maybe, and they want to celebrate our successes. And then part of it also just, I think, is just really becoming comfortable with the fact that it's okay if I'm not in something right at this moment in time, and only you can decide, only each artist can decide, how their level of comfortability with that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And speaking of the way that you inspire the younger generations, Betsy has an incredible organization called Broadway Evolved that I was honored
Which you came to when you were on tour.
Oh my God, that's right. And then I did it again.
Hansen.
Yes, and then I did it again, and that's when I met Samantha Pauly, who I'm now in The Great Gatsby with.
Literally,
I
know.
My gosh.
Crazy, right?
So talk to us about that. What inspired you to do this? And like you said, it was during an in-between. So talk to us about that.
Yeah, I had, it was over 8 years ago.
Wow.
And the best way that I can describe it without obviously bringing up details that I don't think matter necessarily, is that I was going through a period in my life where I had finished Waitress. It was incredible.
Yes.
And then was going to be in another show. And then the business, I'm gonna say this the most, way that I think it needs to be said. Mm-hmm. The business was doing a business thing. So I had done everything that I needed to do. And the business just completely, in so many different ways, said, no, actually, you're not going to do this. I'd done everything that I needed to do for it. And I think that this happens a lot to artists, right? We show up in the way. We book the role, we do the thing, we're like ready. And then there's powers that are out of our control that say, no, you actually don't get to do this. And it was really fascinating to me to see how little agency I had in moments that, you felt like, well, gosh, I've really done all the things that I could do. And so to me, at that moment in time, I was really craving two things. I was craving my worth not being wrapped up in someone saying, here's the job that now makes you valid, much like what we were talking about, like what people ask us. And also, I was interested in seeing if I could have any small participation in younger students who might have a trajectory in the theater, growing up and learning in an environment that encouraged support, that was had integrity. And so I call them, and many people call them, industry change makers. That's kind of the phrase that we use. And so people that I knew would not only be on stage someday, but would maybe be company managers, would maybe be producers, would be directors, would be casting directors, stage managers, and people that appreciated theater, but also appreciated being good humans and knowing that art works better if we are actually a community and we treat each other with kindness and respect.
Absolutely.
And so for me, it was not feeling agency over my own career, and then wanting to say, well, how could I make this situation better? And so for me, that was deciding to work with individuals 14 to 18 at pivotal points in their life, helping them decide what environment suits me and helping them understand that even though you can do all the things that you want to do, you can learn how to belt a high G all you want, but if you don't know about yourself and about the business, and if you don't garner nuggets of integrity, grit, and just other values and honor that I believe will carry you through this business, then it's not worth it. Like I really, really believed that I could make a difference in this way. And 8 years in, I am dumbfounded by the support, the testimonials from parents saying their kid is not the same after these 4 days. We've seen students, our OG students, some of our OG students have literally were accepting Tony Awards on a stage a couple years ago. Was in a play. Exactly. I know. And right now, in a couple weeks, I'm going to go see one of them starring in Book of Mormon.
Oh
so
my gosh.
it's become another one's a casting director now. It's become so much bigger than I ever thought. And at the heart of it is treating people with kindness and having integrity in what you do, as well as loving the theater and being so. This podcast and your pivot point was actually, this is what I did. This was my intermission, and now is one of the things I'm the most passionate about. So,
oh my gosh, that is so inspiring. I love that, and to have witnessed, these students and how invested they are, how excited they are, and like you said, everything. It's not about how great you sound, how beautiful, beautifully you dance or act. There's so much more, and it's about kindness, and knowing yourself. And I didn't start learning that until I started in the business at 24. If only I had started learning that about myself and getting to know myself at 14 and everything like that. Who knows? The sky's the limit. So you are changing lives as you can see now, and it's so inspiring and so beautiful.
I do like to think students are kinder to themselves after these 4 days. It's not about just kindness, to other people or how to be better for others in the industry, but a lot of it is just showing your self-love and giving yourself the grace. And we have artists talk about, what it's like in between, to these students who genuinely believe that when they get to New York, they're going to feel the same thing that they feel that one weekend that they have their spring show for those 5 shows. They think that that's like what Broadway is. And so it's just a really powerful place where students can come and get a very, very real life examination of what does this look like? How can I best prepare? And so, I'm grateful you've come. I mean, the artists that have come and supported this program, it's insane. Yeah. There's now we have a nonprofit component. We have a foundation now, which now helps provide students with scholarships. So many students come for free all over the world. So our talent pool has been able to grow because our funds have been able to grow. And it's like, I swore I would never be a teacher. Both my parents were educators. And I was like, I'm not going into teaching. And here I am 8 years later. It's so just a part of me. And I'm very, very proud of it.
Oh, I love that. My dad is an educator too, so I feel that sentiment. But I've always known that I want to go into teaching at some point. Yeah. I never kind of I did resent him because growing up he was super strict with grades and things like that. But love you, Papi. I understand. I understand. So I know you're also, on top of a working actress, a mother. And so I'm raising stepkids as well. And so in this industry, it's really hard to be a mother and a working professional. And honestly, in any industry, how do you navigate those two beasts?
Yeah. I mean, I just think by the nature of our schedule, right? Yeah. It presents its own sets of challenges. And yet, as I say that out loud, I have thought often a lot about in this show, I see my kid as I'm doing Death Becomes Her. I'm in it 8 times a week. I have not missed a show, knock on wood, since January 16th. But I see my daughter more than I've ever seen her before. And part of it is because I believe it's a real choice, right? Yeah. How much you can give based on whatever the role. But for me, motherhood is not well, let me see what the show is, and then let me see where my daughter fits in.
Yeah.
I am not going to be good on stage. I will not be a happy person in general if I don't have the quality time with my daughter that I want to have. So for me, it's about I am so much better at my job if I have all my poppy time. You know what I mean? So I know that it's kind of an interesting thing, but in many ways, a night schedule is actually a blessing in some ways, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I get to pick her up every day from school. I can wake up with her every day. Now, does that mean I am exhausted? And does this mean like when I get to the big song at 10:30 at night, I'm like, oh boy, here we go. Of course it does some days. And then some days I'll just say like, okay, so my strategy is I really need to sleep in and catch up on all the sleep that I've missed. And then I'll be fine for 5-6 days. But I love that I have a lot of flexibility with her. Like if she has a day off from school, I can take a whole day with her.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that if I had a 9 to 6 job, oftentimes that doesn't work where it's like a rushed bedtime with the kids. So it does present challenges. And I will say this, when I finished Joy and before Death Becomes Her, I got to have a completely different schedule with her. I got to do every single nighttime with her. And I loved that as well. But she's at such a special age where she also knows, like, she knows what I do. It's kind of become something that she really loves. Oh. She's like oddly obsessed with Death Becomes Her now, which is a very funny subject material for a 5.5-year-old to be obsessed with. She's almost 6. But it's like, for me, it's less about how do you find the balance. And it's like my balance is if I am prioritizing Poppy in the way that makes me happy, I actually am just far better at my job. Like,
I love that.
I don't have to think about my job. I wouldn't want to be at my job and going, gosh, I really didn't get to spend that much time with her. That would just weigh on my heart way too heavy. Like it would just be awful.
I've never heard that take on it. And I love that. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. We have to fill our cups that way, fulfill our soul that way in order to be our best selves anywhere, to be honest.
And think there will be gives, right? Like I will say like, oh, I'd really like to go do this today. But you know what? All I can do is actually just sit and do nothing because I'm going to give all my energy over here. So like there definitely are, you have to be very conscious about like knowing how much you can commit to outside of it. And I'm a lot more thoughtful, I'd say, about my outside of, commitments, or just really like honest about time things. I used to never suggest like other times for things. And even in this podcast, like I remember there was a couple times to choose from. And I was like, you know what? I could do this time to this time because I'm going to pick up my daughter. Yeah. And it's amazing. Once you start to just say, these are the priorities for me, different chips fall into place. And so, yeah, it makes me really, really happy. How old are your stepkids?
My stepkids are now 15 and 13.
What? Oh my gosh.
I know. I've been in their lives since 3 and 5.
Wow.
Raising teenagers, y'all.
Oh my gosh. I can't even fathom it. My daughter still like loves me and thinks I'm the coolest thing around. I'm dreading the day that she's like, Mom, get away from me. And then hopefully she'll come back to me when she's in her 20s and think I'm her best friend again.
Yes, she will.
I'm crossing my fingers. Everyone always tells me, they're like, you have like 6 more years where she's going to love you and then be prepared. And I'm always like, okay.
I know. I heard girls are rough. How many siblings do you have?
I have one sister. And you know what? I don't know if I went through, I'd have to really ask my mom if I went through like my mom's loser phase. I don't feel like I did. I really don't feel like I did. But I'm sure we all have rose-colored glasses of like who we were as kids and teenagers.
Oh my gosh. I used to, when I was little, I mean, God help me, I don't know how I was when I was a teenager, but when I was younger and I didn't get my way, I used to yell and say to my parents, "Yo no te quiero! I don't love you!"
Oh boy. I did run away from home once. I walked around the block with a backpack and then I came back.
How old were you?
That made the studio laugh.
How old were you?
I don't know, 13 maybe. And I was just like, I'm running away. I don't want to live here anymore. And I don't even know what I had in my backpack, like stickers. I don't know, Elisa Frank binder. Yes. I don't even know. And then I like walked literally around the block one time. I was like, I'm hot. I miss my dog. And I went back home.
What, did your parents say anything?
No, I think they were smart and just were like.
They were like, she'll come back in 35 seconds.
We're fine.
My gosh.
Yeah, she wants mac and cheese for dinner. She's fine. She'll be back. I don't know what they said. I have no idea.
Oh my God.
So yeah, I guess I have that to look forward to.
So before we get into the ending sandwichito part, I would love to ask you in one word, what does the next Entre Act in your life look like?
Oh, this is so exciting. I don't know. Every time I finish a run, I always think like, I think that's the last one. I said it after Anne Juliet. I was like, oh my gosh, that was it. I don't think it could get any better than this. Like, I'm sure I'm done. I'm sure I'm not going to get hired again. And it's not like a woe is me or like some really weird delusional thing about my talent. I just always think like, that was amazing. What could top that? You know what I mean? Like I have nothing but gratitude. And then Joy came up, a project that I've been working on. And in the interim, I'll tell you what I was doing. And then after Joy, I really thought like, well, there's no way I'll do something again for a while. And that was a big thing. You know, people are going to need a break from Betsy Wolfe. And then like a week later, I get a call to do Death with Comfort. I was like, well, okay, fine. But I will tell you what I love to do in between that I don't really talk about. I am obsessed with interior design and Pinterest. And I know what I'm doing? No. But I have designed a couple places and spaces.
Your dressing room at Angelia and your house?
That was, so I worked with a designer for my New York apartment, and she also helped me on my dressing room. So I like to think I've learned a lot from her, you know, but really, it's just something I enjoy doing. I've started to do it for some of my friends, some of their spaces. Like one of my girlfriends was like, will you help me with my bedroom and my kids' room? And I was like, yes. So like, I get out my little Pinterest boards and I do it. And it's just something that, I don't know, it just brings joy to me. I started, this is going to sound so crazy. I in my break from Joy this summer afterwards, I started like pickling like cucumbers to make like pickle. It's so silly.
No, I was making sourdough pickles. And like my own milk. Yeah.
Like I really just, it's like, honestly, it's a lot of the simple things, spending time with my family, my mom and my dad, and going to the lake with my daughter. It's just, I kayak. I love to kayak. Kayak's one of my favorite things to do. And so I really feel confident in that I'll always have work if I want it, but I won't always have the spare time when I want it. So I just really enjoy the off periods in a way that I wish anyone who's feeling, anyone who's feeling like they're not worth anything until they have their next job. I so wish that I'm going to like sprinkle like whatever dust there is to like say like, I just really hope that you can just embrace that time and realize that time is so fleeting and so precious. And maybe because of that, I'm a little bit older now that I really, we are not guaranteed anything in this life. We're not guaranteed tomorrow. And so do the things that kind of excite you, as silly as they are.
Absolutely. Oh, Betsy Wolfe, your next interior designer, everybody.
Oh,
HGTV, call her. My dream is to either have an HGTV.
I can't guarantee that it's going to be great.
No, it's going to be great. Or I want to be the next Guy Fieri. Food Network, please call me. I want to go review food and eat and have a personal trainer and nutritionist on the side to help me.
Obviously.
But please.
This sounds like a great job. We should just have a bunch of Broadway girlies go around and try food and get resorts to just say, we'd love for you to stay here.
People with power, listen.
And just try all your amazing food. This sounds awesome.
Please.
Yeah,
to anybody with power and money, please.
We don't even have to warm up to do that.
No, not at all.
No singing required.
Bueno, so we've gotten to the end of our sandwichito, and I want to end with another fun little game like we started. So because we're trying to keep it, PG-13 here, instead of that game, bleep, marry, kill, the bleep.
Yes.
Bed, wed, dead.
Bed,
wed, or dead.
Oh, boy.
Okay, are you ready?
I'm a mom now. Okay.
Okay, bed, wed, dead. Jamie, Dr. Pomander, Shakespeare.
I have never played this game in this sense, and I love it. Okay, bed, wed, dead. I am not going to wed Jamie. So sorry, Jamie. And we're not even going to associate the people that played these roles with, I'm going to associate the role with it.
Correct.
But I am sorry, Adam Cantor, but like the things you did to me in the last 5 years. Hello, read the script.
Jamie is over and
read the
Jamie's
libretto.
gone.
Jamie's over, Jamie's gone. Okay, so dead will have to be Jamie. Dr. Pomander.
Wed or bed?
I'm going to say, let's go with bed.
Okay.
Let's go with bed, because ultimately Shakespeare has to be wed because of how much I believe by the end he understands what is right, what is wrong, and then makes a very valiant attempt to make it right.
Absolutely. I love that.
And isn't Dr. Pomander married?
He is.
Yeah, so we're not
dun, dun, dun. Exactly.
Well, no. Okay. That was a lot of reasoning. I could have just made that a lot quicker. Okay.
Okay, so this is about what Broadway stars actually want backstage. So bed, wed, dead. throat coat tea or like whatever kind of tea you like,
Mm-hmm.
a physical therapist, or a personal dresser. Bed,
What do you
wet,
mean
dead.
personal dresser?
Like, I don't know. Just having maybe,
Someone that dresses you like during the show? Or are you talking about like fashion stuff? Wait,
I don't know.
sorry, I'm
What do you
asking too
want?
many
No,
clarifying
I
questions.
wasn't clear.
Well, most people, we all have dressers.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think like bed, wed, dead.
Well, okay, backstage.
I need
So
the
what would you
dresser.
want backstage?
Well, I
okay.
have to have the dresser.
So
Because
wet or
especially for Madeline.
Oh.
Other shows, not an issue. Maybe some shows wouldn't have been an issue, although I couldn't do my corset and Julia myself. But Madeline, no, I go through 20 costume changes. So if you asked me to do that every night, I would be like, no way. So that is Mary. Wait, no,
Wed.
not Mary. Wed. And what were the two others?
Your
Throat
favorite
coat tea,
tea?
Vocal Zone. I do love Vocal Zone right now. Vocal Zone makes a
I
good
need
tea.
to get that. And then a physical therapist.
Oh, no, I want to wed my physical therapist.
Me too.
Yeah, no, I just realized I can't go without physical therapy.
Same.
Okay, wed physical therapy, wed personal dresser, and
Or bed personal dresser.
bed.
Or
No,
who's dead?
I'm making my new game.
Oh.
My game is called bed, wed.
Bed, wed, wed.
Bed,
by
wed, wed.
Betsy Wolfe, everybody.
Bed, wed, wed.
Original right here on Entre Acts.
It's a new game, and it's both of those we're gonna wed personal dresser, and yeah, and then the tea. I do love a good throat coat.
Me too.
I do love this. It's called Vocal Zone, and they used to
Vocal
make these
Zone.
little teeny tiny things that you could kind of keep at the base of your like tooth. They would kind of stick to your teeth, and it just provides like a good like throat coat. And then they started making tea. I know
Vocal
you have to
Zone,
order it
everybody.
from
I
London,
need to-
but I do love it.
Vocal Zone from London.
Yeah.
I need to check that out.
Yeah, it's like licorice and myrrh, and like it has like a very soothing throat coat. Yeah,
I need that because especially in the winter,
and you're
I've
talking
been struggling.
on podcasts.
Yeah, I've been struggling with the dryness in the winter.
Oh, yeah, no.
It's bad. And in the theater, you already know.
Oh.
Okay, last one. Bed, wed, dead. Sweeney Todd, Into the Woods,
Oh.
Company.
Wed, Into the Woods, my
Same,
favorite
yes.
musical of all time.
Same.
Company, just because I don't know it as well, we'll say dead. And Sweeney Todd, dead. Why not? I still have never, I've never done Sweeney Todd. That's something. That is
my
something that would be
gosh.
really fun someday. You know, I'm a Sondheim nut. I love Sondheim. So I don't know it as well, but like obviously it's just a real show. So someday I'd love to sing.
And another one to add to your comedic stardom.
Such a good show.
Oh my gosh, it is.
Yeah.
Betsy, thank you so much
I
for
loved
being
being
here.
here.
We love you so much.
You're incredible. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
like encouraging conversation about this. Are you
Thank
kidding
you
me?
so
I think it's
much.
awesome.
I love you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I love to end every episode with one more thing. Because life doesn't pause, it just moves. Entre Acts. Betsy
Your
Wolfe, everybody.
accent is way better than mine. My mother would be ashamed of my Spanish accent right now.
No.
She's fluent.
She is?
Yeah, she is. She works with students and she speaks fluent Spanish.
Everybody, we're
I
all
know.
learning so much about Betsy Wolfe. Interior designer, her mother speaks Spanish. What else?
Yes. Yes. I don't
HGTV,
know.
Food Network, call us. Bye.
Bye.
Entre Acts is created, hosted, and executive produced by yours truly, Linedy Genao. Produced in partnership with Alan Seals and the Broadway Podcast Network. Carlos E. Hernandez of Ikigai Management and Media serves as our lead executive producer. Original music by Johan Beltre and Pedro F. Fortunato. And special thanks to WelcomeToTimesSquare.com, the billboard where you can be a star for the day. Don't forget to subscribe and follow Entre Acts so you never miss an episode. Nos vemos!